Hello, this will be a quick demonstration on how to start up GraphPage and how to use it. Should be very quick. Hopefully you find it helpful and the software helps you become more efficient in your work. So you're going to download graphpage.exe from the website graphpage.com after purchase, and from the download folder you'll be able to open it and find the executable file called graphpage.exe. You're going to run that. I've already placed one on my desktop, so I don't need to do that, but that's where you're going to find that. So when I run that, the first thing that you're going to see is the license key entry field, and you're going to find your subscription ID from an email that will come to you. It looks like this. Once you do get this, you just left click to highlight and then right click to copy it and enter that subscription ID right here and hit submit. And then the next thing that you're going to see is the end user license agreement. You can read this. It tells you what constitutes a software and what you're allowed to do with it. And I agree to that. And then you're going to have the opportunity to create shortcuts if you wish. I already have some set up on my computer, so I'm going to say no to the desktop shortcut, and then there's another option for a start menu 1, 2, but again, I already have that, so I'm going to say no. From that point forward, you're going to have access to the software, and it looks like this when you interact with it. And for the most part, it's very simple. You simply browse for any one or all of the file types that GraphPage handles, which include other Word documents, PDF documents, PowerPoint, Excel, RTF documents, TIFF files, JPEG, PNG. And here's a random grouping of them that I've gotten from just random downloads off the internet for demonstration purposes, and a couple that I created just to because they were the right file type. So I'm going to go ahead and open. And then you're going to see all of those file types in the list box. And you can move these around in order if you wish. So for example, if I wanted to move the top one down 3 spaces, I'd left click and hold and drag it down a couple, and it would be there. Back up. It doesn't, it's fully flexible in terms of where you want the ordering to be. And the documents as they're presented in the list box is how they will be inserted into your destination document. If I wanted to delete one individually, I would left click to, let's pick a random one here. I'm going to go this one, left click to highlight, right click, remove from list, and it'll be gone. If I want to start over again, I can clear all, and I'm going to go ahead and select them all again so we can get through with the demonstration. But that's how the files are selected, and you can move them around if you wish. Then you have the option of inserting these files into a new instance of Word or an open version of Word, or you can just save the images to a folder if you wish. I rarely use this because I'm always working in a report, so I typically use this one, but these options are all available to you. I'll start with this one. Insert into a new document. I'm going to leave it on manual. So manual with zeros all the way across means that it doesn't affect the source document at all in terms of cropping. Image quality can be adjusted so that the destination file size doesn't get too big if you wish. I never use this, but it's there if you'd like to do that. And then you can change the image type that's going into the destination document. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Insert Documents now. And you'll see a couple of the file types open and close really quickly just to process their contents. If you already have documents open, it won't affect those at all. It won't open or close any of your existing documents or interfere with the functions of any of the open documents that you have. The only exception to that is if you have a live open Excel cell, meaning that your cell is waiting for you to enter a function, it will interfere with the opening of a new instance of Excel, which is the case if you're opening any Excel manually. So you do have to just make sure that no cell is selected and open waiting for a new function, and it should work perfectly. So the documents are inserted successfully, and I'll show you what it looks like here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see several pages at once. We'll go like that. So these are all the different file types that it handles. This would be PowerPoint, there's Word documents, there's PDF, RTF files, Excel would be the numbers down here. I just randomly created contents for an Excel file to open so we can use it here. And that is what it looks like if you create a new document. I'm going to close this out. No need to save it. And then I'm going to clear the list box. And this time I'm going to select a single document for demonstration. It's going to be a birthday cake document. And I am going to insert into a new document. And it looks like this. So each one of these images is an individual page within the PDF document. And you'll notice that if I select one and zoom in, that it has the original margin from the source document still intact, and then it also has the existing margin from the new document. And that's important because when I insert into an existing document and I select auto cropping, which I'll demonstrate now, it will remove almost all of that margin off the side. So if you see right here where the live cursor is, that is where, let's cancel that. I'm going to minimize this instead. If I insert into an open document, it'll insert this file or whatever files you have in the list box into that position, wherever the live cursor is. I'm going to select auto crop. It will remove the option to manually adjust cropping because it's dynamic on how it detects images and text within source documents. And the rest of this I'm going to leave the same. So into an open document, insert into an open document, and auto crop, and then it looks like this. So I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to zoom away from this. So if you look at the original document here, you can see the margin is still intact from the way it was raw. And here's the new auto crop document, which removes 9/10 of the margin off of the source document, which is very handy if you're, for example, compiling an addendum for an appraisal report or contracts or legal documents of any sort where you have to place the reference documents in your report. What tends to happen is the font becomes illegible a lot of the time with the standard procedure, which essentially just converts the page into an image. GraftPage uses additional software within it that actually vectorizes the images and the text such that when the images are rendered, the font and the text are incredibly legible. So this is zoomed all the way in. You can tell that the font is intact and readable. So it's very handy. It saves a lot of time if that's important to you in managing the appearance and how legible the text is. I use it every time, actually. And that's really all there is to it. So I'm not going to save this. Again, I'm going to clear this out. There's a button here that says temp file cleanup. And what that does is it clears all the temp file images out of there's a temporary folder that's created when the documents are being processed for insertion into the new or the existing Word document. It's just a temporary stay in that folder, and all of the images are deleted automatically. This is redundant. I had some user feedback that wanted confirmation that this existed, so I put it in there. But it essentially does the same thing as when you close the document or close the software out. So when you hit the X button here to close it out, all of the temporary images are deleted. There's no bloat in your system, and there's no overage on your hard drive for images that should just be going into the document, which is the case here. And the other thing that's worth mentioning, I think, is that GraphPage is a standalone executable. It doesn't affect the registry of your computer at all. Everything is self-contained within the executable, so you don't have to adjust your computer's registration or registry at all. So I use this all the time. It's been very helpful in my practice. I hope you find use in it too. It saves about 10-15 minutes per report in my experience. When I have 10 to 20 documents that have to be moved over as reference files within the addendum of a report. So if it does that for you, I would consider it a success. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support@graphpage.com, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I don't anticipate that too many problems will arise, but if they do, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for the interest, and best wishes. Take care.